All right, Andrew Eason here, back with Jason Everett, as we're going to talk on another topic now, actually, one of utilizing digital notebooks. And so this is a pretty interesting way to think about maybe facilitating a different piece of information or storing those. And really, Jason's going to point you to a really cool site here, Slides Mania. And so, Jason, thanks for joining us, and we're really looking forward to learning with you here today.
Yeah, I just thought this was kind of a neat idea when I was first introduced to it, but being able to use a slide deck in either Google Slides or PowerPoint and using those as a notebook. And as you're watching us go through some of these different notebooks or slides, just keep in the back of your mind how you might be able to add some of your own content and then have students work through as a notebook. Maybe you'd consider it a workbook, or maybe you'd consider it more of a packet of things that they could do, a digital packet. And so it's just slidesmania.com, and they have a whole category here with tons of different notebooks that you can choose from. So it doesn't matter if you were thinking elementary, middle school, high school. They really have quite a few notebooks in here that you can use as templates, and then hopefully you start thinking about how to make your own. I've used this free Hyperdoc handbook template, this one here, but if you open one of these up, you can see here, like here would be a good one, maybe for an English class, that composition notebook style. And then you can kind of see what each of these would look like. You can go through the different slides and see if this would be something that you could use.
I'm going to ask for people that maybe aren't familiar with this, a Hyperdoc. When you say that, explain the workflow to us real quick for those that maybe aren't familiar.
Sure. So a lot of times what we used to do in the past was just give kids a page of links to click on. And what a Hyperdoc does is changes that page of links to click on changes it to a page that the students can truly interact with, maybe add their own content, and really create their own environment on that particular page. And so in this particular instance, what I'm thinking, a teacher could create a notebook, a packet with their unit or their lesson inside of it, and then the students make a copy of that, so it's their very own copy. As they work through that workbook or work through the lesson in the workbook, they're taking notes in there. They might be adding videos. They might be adding videos from the internet or creating their own, whatever it might be. But it becomes more of an interactive piece as opposed to just a clickable page of internet links.
And really in a time where if you were to be familiar with paper packets, those are probably hard to collect in a remote setting, or at least there's an added challenge there, not to mention that we aren't really supposed to be sharing materials around. And so I think there's, especially in pandemic times, multiple benefits to these types of ways of facilitating those packet worksheet, workbook kind of assignments.
Oh, definitely. And this might be hard to grasp right now, and I'm kind of a concrete type person, so if you don't mind, I'll share one that I created for NDLA, and this is actually based on a presentation I was doing called Can Remote Learning Be Engaging? But what I tried to do within it was tie in the global goals. So this could be a real lesson in a science class or really any, but the idea is that you take this notebook and as a teacher, you populate it with those things that you want the students to work on. So here's some things that they could do a Jamboard activity, and that's built right within the presentation. Here's a would you rather activity, but notice on the right-hand side, do you need to take notes? Well, I can just click over here. Oops, I'm in presentation mode, but you can just click over there, and then the student would be able to take any notes that they needed to based on that particular page. Here is another introduction where we're going to explore the actual global goals. And so I embedded just a YouTube video. I embedded a link for them to create to do a superhero activity. And so this kind of gives them that launching point to be able to start these different activities to learn more about the global goals. And again, oops, here's some blank pages that they can then use kind of as their notebook or their scrapbook, or however you want to frame that in terms of their note-taking capabilities. And so here's another page where I have them break out. And so this is a group activity, a small group activity where they have to go in and learn about each of the 17 different global goals. And so there's the global goals website. And then on the next few pages is where they could actually start taking notes about what is global goal number 1, poverty, what's global goal number 2, hunger, whatever that might be. And so it just kind of steps them through each of their different ideas. Here, you could have them record and actually put a recording right within here. And so when they turn this in at the end of the unit, it just makes it so much easier for you to go through and see where they're at in terms of their learning. One of the other things that makes me think of this, if you were a tech integration specialist or technology coach of some sort, when it comes to the SAMR model, to me, this really helps in terms of what that growth might be in terms of technology use in the classroom. And so when you're thinking of a true notebook, this is just right at the substitution level. And so if we look at the SAMR model, we have substitution, augmentation, modification, and then redefinition. And so to me, this really gets to that transformation point where you're able to turn just a normal notebook, paper notebook, into something that's digital that allows you to add video, audio, allows you to do all sorts of things that you wouldn't be able to do with a paper notebook, to the point where in the redefinition stage, I would say students are creating their own notebook. So for example, in this particular case of the global goals, maybe as a student, I picked global goal number 14, life below water. And so if I'm going to share about that, I'm going to create my own notebook that I'm going to be able to pass out and give that to others so that they can learn about life below water.
Wow, that's terrific. It makes me, gosh, I wish I would have known about this whenever I was still a classroom practitioner, because this is really engaging and fun. And I even really like the tabs that are here too on this particular one. It helps you kind of think through the different depths to which you might explore a topic. So just a little added bonus there as well with this.
Oh, definitely. And those are clickable too. So if I go back and click on any of the tabs, it just brings you up to that first page of each of those tabs. And so that's how most of those work within the Slides Mania notebook style downloads. And these are all free. I always give credit where credit is due. And so leaving the Slides Mania copyright stuff on there, you'll definitely want to do that. But there's just a ton of different ideas. And as you go through here, I think that light bulb is just going to start fluttering, because there's so many different things that you can do with each of these different notebooks. Not only lesson styles, but just organization. Maybe you have a student that has trouble with organizational skills, and being able to use this notebook as maybe their way to stay organized within the class.
without it going in their backpack and coming out looking like it just got in a fight with the lawnmower, right?
Exactly.
So, well, Jason, thank you so much for sharing. As always, I appreciate learning from you, and hopefully this helps some folks in that remote setting, or even when we go back to the new normal on the other side of all this. But thanks so much.
Definitely.